The Conjuring is the worst movie of all time. It's terrible, and I hate it, and I've seen it like 3 times. And every time, I think it's the first time I've seen it. That's how generic this movie is, okay? I always see it on Netflix and I go, have I seen this or not? I don't even remember. I can't even tell. Because, you know, all these movies are exactly the same. They all have the same kind of lame, one-word descriptive titles like, ooh, The Conjuring, or Sinister, or Insidious, or Vile, or the Scary, Spooky, Bad Thing, or the mark my words, eventually they're just gonna make a movie called Scary, or or Boo! I promise you that there will be a movie made at some point that is just called Boo! You know, these titles mean nothing, and you can't tell these movies apart. You forget which ones you've even seen and which ones you haven't. So every couple of years, I see this movie in like a Netflix thumbnail, and I think, have I seen that? I don't even know. So I click on it, and I swear to God, the movie is so fucking generic and boring and shit that it goes on for about 45 minutes before I realize that I have seen the movie before, multiple times. It's right around the 45-minute mark where I go, wait a minute, I think I've seen this. I think I've seen this about 3 times. And by then it's too late. By then you have to watch it to completion. So I've seen this fucking terrible movie over and over again. And it's awful. It's so fucking boring. First of all, it's an exorcism movie. All exorcism movies are terrible. All of them, except for The Exorcist. That's the only one, and they should have stopped there. Like, why would you even go and willingly see an exorcism movie? You know what it is. You know what happens in it, because that movie has already been made. That is a genre that should have had one entry. Oh, a person might be possessed, or maybe they're not, and here's a guy trying to get the demon out of her, and she's gonna contort her body, and she's gonna say mean things, and her eyes are gonna go all scary. Who cares? That's literally just The Exorcist. They're all just The Exorcist. But worse. They did it right the first time 40 fucking years ago. But they keep making the same movie, but worse every time. I would never willingly pay to see a new Exorcist movie. But this movie tricks you, because it's not called Exorcism Movie, or The Exorcism of fucking dipshit McButtfuck, or Who's Getting Exorcised Now, or some shit like that. It doesn't have like a movie, it doesn't have a title that tells you what it is. It's just called The Conjuring. That's how they trick you. They make these fucking derivative ass, boring, nothing horror movies that nobody would ever willingly pay to see if they knew what it was, but they give them these vague, bullshit, one-word adjective titles, like malevolent or disquieting. So you can't tell. You can't tell what the fuck it is, so it tricks you into watching it. And then the movie starts, and it's like some bullshit. It's like in the 70s, and this husband and wife team, it like tries to tell you that it's based on a real story and that these were real people. I mean, sure, they might have been real people, but they were phonies. So, were they real? Were they real phonies? Is that what's supposed to be scary about it? It's this husband and wife team who like investigates paranormal shit and like haunted houses, and they collect scary artifacts. And it like shows their office, and they've got like a spooky doll. And the doll, I think, now has like her own series of spin-offs that nobody watches and nobody ever will, because who gives a fuck? But they're called in to investigate this family who moved into a house, and, you know, the house is haunted or some shit, and there's birds flying into the windows, and all the typical slow burn, oh, something scary is gonna happen. Right now it's just kind of creepy, but something scary is gonna happen. That kind of, you know, that slow haunted house bullshit. Why do haunted house movies, why do they even bother being slow? Why do they bother, like, trying to be artsy and subtle? We know it's a haunted house movie. Just fucking get right into it. Just give me the scares. Show me the haunted house stuff. Don't waste my time trying to be coy about it, like, oh, is it a haunted house or is it not? I know it's a haunted house. Because this is a movie. You know what's a good haunted house movie? The House on Haunted Hill, the original one from like the 60s with Vincent Price, because the movie starts and within 5 minutes there's a skeleton. And a lady is being killed by a skeleton. It comes out of the acid and it fucking jangles after her. It shambles around like, ooh, that's what it should be. Or The Haunting, the one where Owen Wilson gets his head lopped off by a swinging lion in the fireplace. Someone like installed a scary pendulum with a lion face in like the chimney. And Owen Wilson gets caught in it, and the lion comes to life, and it goes roar, and it bites his head off. Those are haunted house movies. Those are good movies. I don't want to see a bunch of losers sitting around in a house in the 70s for the first hour of the movie wondering, is our house haunted? Is something scary? No, I want them to know immediately, oh, fuck, our house is definitely haunted. So it starts off as like a haunted house movie, and then it becomes an exorcism movie, and there's something about a witch or some shit. Maybe it's also a ghost movie. Who cares? The wife gets possessed, and the husband and wife couple comes and tries to exorcise the demon out of her, and then from that point it just becomes every exorcism movie you've ever seen in your life. And I hate this movie, and it got like awards. This movie was like critically lauded. People love this movie. They said it was like a return to horror, or like a real horror movie has finally been made. Well, if this is a real horror movie, then I'll stick with Owen Wilson getting his head bitten off by a swinging lion pendulum, okay? Because if this is what real horror is, then real horror sucks. I want goofy, insane I want insane shit happening constantly in my horror movie. I don't want it to try and be an art piece. I want fucking like Poltergeist, okay? You watch Poltergeist, that shit has ghosts, it has skeletons, it has scary trees, it's got a scary clown, it's got a guy ripping his face off in the mirror, it's got a scary staticky TV screen, and the girl gets caught in it or some shit. That's a movie. That's like 9 different scary things I just mentioned, and it all happens like one after another. That movie is like a fucking Looney Tune. God damn it. Fuck The Conjuring. It's not scary, it's not spooky, it's bullshit. I wish they'd conjure up a better movie. Oh! Good joke. I did it.